Welcome to Tree Gong, where we bring you wisdom from the ancients. Come on in. We have an amazing show for you today. So, as we're gathering, I would like to hear from all of you. Let me know where you're tuning in from and who out there has been feeling a disturbance in the collective consciousness. That is a massive understatement, right? Hello, Amber, Elizabeth. So good to see you today. Nancy, Louise. So glad you could be with us. And yeah, so thank you for checking in. Hello, hello. So, how has the collective consciousness vibration of fear been affecting you? I realized today, I want to know if any of you can resonate with this. I do a lot of channeling and connecting to ancient wisdom. And I realized today that with the collective vibration being so agitated, I have not been dropping in as deeply. And I know it's needed now more than ever. And so thank you for gathering. Hello, Kelly. Some of my old favorites in the collective family are joining today. So, as you're tuning in, I want to just drop into what is real and alive and present. And I have asked my dear friend and cohort and my original Qigong teacher and master and guide, Grandpa Cedar, to join us today to bring through some wisdom. But before we do that, I really want to drop in with where everyone is. um, and let's see what Nancy says. I really thought it would be great to start singing something everyone knows in the grocery store to lighten the mood. So, like campfire songs while we're in grocery lines. I love that. Did you actually get a sing along going, Nancy? That is so beautiful. I want to hear more. Amber had her surgery today, been a little loopy. I'm glad you were able to have your surgery. I know some people just had their surgeries canceled that they've been waiting for because the hospitals are reserving medical supplies for COVID patients. So, Amber, I just want to drop into being grateful that you were able to get the medical care that you needed. Um, oh, I see. You thought of it afterwards. I love that idea, Nancy, of really creating a sense of community. And, even as everyone is rushing around trying to get their supplies, I have noticed a sense of camaraderie. Even the people who are really down and holding a lot of fear, they're in a sense of understanding and compassion. And so I want to also tune in to what are the benefits of this time, this opportunity? What is the opportunity within the challenge? Kelly has been staying out in the gardens. And so I wanted to bring these. Those of you that have been following me may have seen my post, but I wanted to share with you all these crystals that came to the surface of my friend's property after their entire property burned to the ground. It took out their garden, their house, much of the forest, all but the biggest trees were burned to the ground. And then crystals came to the surface. And so to me, these crystals really symbolize the opportunity that is inside of even the greatest calamity. And the more that we can really tune into what opportunity is available in each and every moment, the more easily we will weather the storms. And I just was realizing today, I think it was yesterday when I really tuned into the need for Grandpa Cedar to come and channel some wisdom for the collective. And if anyone out there wants individual messages directly for you, When I open up the field, I'm going to invite you to also drop your questions or requests into the comments to connect directly with Grandpa Cedar. Hello, Lornie Lee. Welcome to the show. Nice to see you, and thanks for the hearts. So, continuing to breathe. And after this show, I'm going to be going over into my private Facebook group to offer a training on keeping your energy clear and protected. And how do you protect yourself energetically and physically in times of collective fear, in times of illness, in times of challenge, because this is just one in a series of challenges that life is going to throw at you. Right now, everyone is acting in challenge on behalf of a much smaller percentage of people who are actually suffering from this virus. And so to really recognize how important it is to keep yourself strong, to keep your immunity strong, to keep your vibration high. And this is one way to just keep sharing the love. So thank you, Nancy Louise, for sharing the love. And Lornie Lee, I'm going to hold that question for the channeling portion of the show. Thank you for dropping that in. And yes, I'm reminding myself to breathe, and I'm reminding you to just take a deeper breath now and then. Create some breathing room for yourself. If that means going and finding your favorite tree to connect to, or just stepping outside of your door and looking at the sky, or looking out the window, pausing whenever you can. Pause in your day and take a breath and just focus on what you have to be grateful for. What is the gift in this challenge? There are some pretty big gifts that have come through this challenge. One is the air pollution in China that has been off the charts for years is now lower than it has been in decades. And don't quote me on numbers, because I will say random things that point to the bigger truth and may not be as specific. So hey Lisa, welcome, 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 welcoming in our tribe as we gather. It is so important now, as you're being isolated in your homes, to continue to gather virtually. And so when you come into my private group, you're going to have an opportunity to gather more virtually. And so I'm really encouraging those of you who aren't in there already. Most of you who I see commenting already are part of that group. And so I want you to know that I am here for you. I'm here to continue to hold space for you to have some breathing room, for you to see the gift inside of the challenge, and for you to take the time to slow down is really a gift. My mom is usually in Hawaii this time of year, and she had to stay in Oregon, and she's getting to witness things like hyacinths blooming that she hasn't seen in years, because she's usually in Hawaii in the spring, seeing beautiful Hawaiian flowers bloom. And so to really witness the gift available to you in each moment, especially those challenging moments, not even the challenging moments, especially the challenging moments. It's really easy to see the joy and excitement when you're about to eat your birthday cake. It may be a little bit harder when you're grounded from traveling, or when you have loved ones that you're in fear of being ill, or maybe you even have loved ones who are ill. And we can't forget the people that already were suffering before this virus came to be known, people that already were and now maybe are suffering more. And yeah, the waters of Sicily clear, so beautiful, blooming Bartlett pears. Oh, Nancy, I love your beautiful light bringing all of this beauty onto this show today. I'm so grateful, and I was feeling an intuition that this time later in the day was going to be better for more people to gather, and so this is going to be the new time. This is not a temporary time shift this week. This is going to be the new time for this show to be in the evening when more people can gather. And even if you're in the midst of preparing dinner, maybe you can pause and take a breath with us and tune in. And what I'm really advocating is reaching out and being in community as you may be physically isolated. I don't like to use the term social distancing because we need to be conscious and aware of minimizing our impact during this time. And yet, it is so crucially important that we maintain strong social ties. Humans are social animals. So, coming back to the trees, coming back to Grandpa Cedar, who I'm going to be bringing on in a moment, back in the fall, moving into the winter, I went to visit Grandpa Cedar. He lives just above the property that I grew up on that my mom still owns. So I am blessed. I get to go back to my childhood home regularly and visit the trees that helped raise me as a child. And I made the connection with Grandpa Cedar when I was a young adult, but he was there watching me play in the fairy forest when I was very little. And the this particular time that came into my mind, Grandpa Cedar said to me, "Strengthen your roots. A storm is coming." And when a tree is talking about strengthening your roots, the tree is talking about interlacing with each other because trees do not stand alone. Trees exist in community. And so how that tree was telling me strengthen your roots is to strengthen my community. And this is what I'm feeling is super called for right now is that we strengthen our community. And so I'm going to invite you all to look at how can you strengthen your community, whether it's your local community, your family unit, your global community. I'm going global right now. I feel like it's vital to strengthen our global community because we are all in this together. Nobody is a lone wolf as much as you might think you are. You are interdependent with all humans, and all human decisions impact you. And your decisions impact everyone else. And we can't make other people's minds up for them, but we get to choose what we put into the collective. And the more of us that put that love and beauty and appreciation vibration into the collective, the more of us will be receiving that. And so I really invite you to look at the ways that you can strengthen your community and not think of it as isolation, but rather as an opportunity to go within and strengthen your own convictions. That's the other thing that I think of when I think of strengthening my roots. Strengthen your convictions. What do you stand for? What are you willing to take a stand for in this life? I'd love to hear some feedback if anyone is feeling brave enough to drop into the comments what you are willing to take a stand for in this life. What is your conviction? What is that thing that you know you were made for? So I'm going to take a stand right here and now for each and every human to come into right relationship with him or herself and with each other and with the planet, with all life, with the trees and the dolphins, the birds and the fish, the four-leggeds, the creepy crawlies, the frogs and toads and turtles and lizards. Because when everything comes into balance, everyone is taken care of. And I know it sounds like an oversimplification, but it also sounds really huge, right? Every human to know that you are a sovereign being and you are the only one who gets to choose what use this body that you are in charge of is put to. And that's an important piece. Learning to love yourself unconditionally doesn't mean that you don't have high standards for yourself. It means that you recognize that the fact that you fail it is in one particular area doesn't make you a failure as a human being. Know that you deserve love always. And I can feel that Grandpa Cedar is getting ready to come and join us. I actually planted one of the crystals. I'm really feeling him through these crystals. And I actually just remembered that I planted one of these crystals at Grandpa Cedar's roots. And so this is going to amplify our connection today. And so I brought a picture. The background image is from the redwood forest where I spent my birthday in 2018. And Grandpa Cedar is out in Williams, Oregon, just about 40, no, just about an hour and a half from the border of California, as the fastest way you can drive. So just seeing the picture of Grandpa Cedar makes me take a deeper breath. And so I invite you all to drop in here with me together. We're going to imagine that we are gathered in a circle around this magnificent tree. We're not going to worry about how we'll all fit or where we'll all be standing on the uneven ground. We're just going to imagine that we are energetically gathered, and I'm being shown us as our angel beings. Did you know that you all have wings and you all can fly and you all can use these wings to heal? And if you're wanting to learn more about how, you can reach out to me so that we can figure out where you are on this trajectory that I like to call your healer's journey. But I digress because we are all gathered in circle, in community, with our wings wrapping around each other, giving and receiving a loving embrace and connecting to this beautiful being that is sometimes known as Grandpa Cedar. Take some deep breaths with me and connect to the collective. Lean back a little bit into the support of this wing embrace that we're sharing. Relax into the feeling of being held. And our collective energy is creating a tube of light that, as we breathe together, is growing stronger and brighter, surrounding Grandpa Cedar, flowing up and around the trunk and the branches, all the way out into the universe, and then it showers out and down around the Earth's toroidal field to bless. I'm seeing it like a sparkling fairy dust energy, blessing the entire planet with healing. Just seeing that energy continuing to cycle up, out, and around. And this is also happening for each individual, that your energy is cycling through, up, out, and around, blessing the earth that you walk on, blessing every molecule of your being. And this is the first thing that Grandpa Cedar really wants to bring your awareness to is the strength available when you really dedicate yourself to two things. I think it's two things. First, to be in community. And second, to cultivate yourself as if you were the only one. You are the only one that you will spend your entire life with. And so Grandpa Cedar is showing me how it's not just about the collective and it's never just about the individual. The job of the collective is to recognize the value inherent in each individual. And the job of the individual is to ask again and again, how can I serve the collective? How can I be of greater service to all? What is my special gift? And Grandpa Cedar is asking each one of you to tune in to your unique vibration and tune in your subtle awareness. He's showing me this beautiful music, and I know showing is the wrong word for music because it's a listening, not a seeing. But this is the way I'm experiencing it, as if Grandpa Cedar is showing me the grand universal orchestra conductor that has imbued each and every life form with a certain unique tone and flavor, which contributes to a magnificent, magical harmony. So tune in to two things. Again, he's showing it to me as really paying attention to both your individual melody line, when you will rise above the rest of the choir and sing your own unique song, your solo aria, what does that sound like? And then part two, how can you blend your unique vibration into the collective in such a way that it sweetens that divine harmony? I know many of you out there are sensitive intuitives, and you will pick up some special messages just by attuning your subtle hearing to this music. And so, right now, we're going to take 3 breaths together and just listen for that subtle vibration. And now, whether you heard, sensed, felt, imagined something, or you just enjoyed a moment of silence as you breathed with the collective, I'd love to hear any feedback or experiences. And Grandpa Cedar is really inviting you all to embrace this practice. Take it out into your local forest or park, someplace where you can be away from the possible threat of human contact or just the distraction and disruption of the collective vibration. You can do it inside your home as well. Grandpa Cedar is actually inviting you to do both, to take this practice out into a natural setting where you'll have some natural sounds to incorporate, and into a quiet space inside your home where you can just tune into the breath and the subtle vibrations. And now I'm going to, as we stay connected, hello, Anita. As we stay connected to Grandpa Cedar, I'm going to invite any requests for personal messages. And Lornie Lee had a question earlier that she wanted me to pose to Grandpa Cedar and the collective through Grandpa Cedar, because Grandpa Cedar is also a channel. It's not so much that I'm channeling Grandpa Cedar as that Grandpa Cedar is one of the ways that I connect to channel wisdom from the ancients, from the collective, from the divine presence that is the fabric of the universe, the global consciousness, the universal consciousness. And Lornie Lee would love to know if moving is wise now. She wants to leave from here. Lornie Lee, if you're still with us, let me know. And let me know if you already know where you're moving to, or if it's just a moving from. And Grandpa Cedar immediately showed me connecting to your roots. And this and being rooted, being grounded does not mean you're stuck in one place. Um, yes, Lornie Lee is still here. And Lornie Lee, do you know where you would move to? Or is it just that you want to leave from where you are? Um, for some reason, this question is important. Moving from Michigan to Florida. Okay. Okay, Lornie, I'm getting a sense that um, I'm getting a sense that the timing isn't quite right. And I'm wondering if that is the sense that you were getting that made you ask this question. And I'm really getting this strong guidance for you to go inside to what is needing to shift within you, because right now I'm getting a sense that moving location is actually going to be a distraction from what needs to shift inside of you. And once that shifts inside of you, then you're going to be free to go wherever you want. It doesn't mean you're not being asked to be stuck where you are. It's just a reminder that whether you go to Florida or stay in Michigan, you're going to have the same work to do within you. And so Grandpa Cedar is reminding you to make sure you're doing that inner work. And doing that inner work is going to show you clearly and directly exactly when the right moment is for you to hit the road. And so continue to make your preparations, because everything is lining up for you. It's not a no, it's just the timing isn't quite right, and there's a shift that needs to happen within you. So I hope that helps. I hope that resonates. And Grandpa Cedar is saying that this exact practice that was just given for all to practice is going to be really helpful for you to tune into what that shift is for you and what it will look like for you. And that I'm glad that that resonated for you. Yeah, so doing your inner work is key. This is like whoever you are, wherever you are, this is true. And that's what Grandpa Cedar really wanted you to focus on. And yeah, so I'm glad that resonated for you, Lorne Lee. Amber would like a general guidance from Gramp Cedar. Oh, Amber, tuning in as Grandpa Cedar and I felt your energy as soon as I pulled your picture up. I got a really strong energy transmission towards your healing. And so Grandpa Cedar is just what he wants to say to you. If I can put it into words, I'll have you all know that Grandpa Cedar mostly speaks in images to me. And so I get to translate it into words. And what he's showing me is wrapping you in healing, like laying you on a mossy bed in the forest and then laying a blanket of cedar over you. And so it's like a cocooning. And so he really wants you to know that you are loved, that you are cared for, and that you are needed on this planet. And so to really allow yourself to receive that healing vibration from the forests. And he's showing me those precious junipers that are his cousins out there. I think you're in Georgia, if I'm remembering correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong, and I apologize. But he's showing me those beautiful juniper trees out there just holding you, and he is holding you. And all of these beings, all of the tree beings are holding you. And he's just wants you to know that you are healing and you are transforming. He's really showing it like allow yourself to be in your cocoon, allow yourself to be held, allow yourself to be transformed. And when a caterpillar becomes a butterfly, everything about that caterpillar dissolves and is restructured by something that they call imaginal cells. And so tune into that part of you, that essence of your being that actually has nothing to do with your physical body. It has nothing to do with your identity in this lifetime. That part of you that will continue after you die, that is the part of you that you are restructuring around. And so allow yourself to rest, allow yourself to be in the cocoon, allow the transformation to happen. It's not so much about doing right now as being. So just allow yourself to be. Thank you, Amber. That is such a beautiful message. Let me know if it resonates for you. And all of these messages, if you're watching live or watching the replay and you don't have a chance to have your personal message transmitted, know that there is something for you in all of these messages. And let's see, we have Christy also asking for general guidance. And Christy Lucariello, I hope I'm not butchering your name too badly. Grandpa Cedar is seeing a really strong vibrance coming through you. There's a sense of resilience, and he's saying that you may have lost touch with your resilient spirit, or maybe you've lost touch with the passion that moves you in life. And so Grandpa Cedar is asking you to really tune into that spark, A fire is started with just one spark, and then it can burn through. And so this is kind of a twofold message. It's igniting the spark of your passions, and it's also allowing yourself to feed that fire with what is no longer serving in your life, so that you can allow that old you to burn to the ashes and the new you rise as the phoenix from those ashes. And that new you that is in the process of being sparked and is rising, that part of it is so brilliant. It's almost blinding. And so the key that Grandpa Cedar wants you to take from this is to really tune into what brings you joy. What is that? Earlier, and I don't know if you were on for this whole show, but earlier we were talking about what it is that you will take a stand for. What is there that you can just plant a stake in the ground and say, no, I will not move from this. This is my strongest conviction. So it's that the spark is a combination of those two things. What brings you joy? What brings the laughter? What brings excitement? What do you love to do, see, experience? And then what will you take a stand for? So, really taking some time, it would be a great time to do some journaling around this, to tune in with the exercise that Grandpa Cedar gave the collective of listening for your unique vibration and how it harmonizes with all of the vibrations around the planet. And then also journaling around, what are you willing to take a stand for? What is that conviction for you? What is that thing that you know is so important that you can't let it go? I hope that was helpful, Christy and Amber. You are so very welcome. And Kelly Bird. Oh, Kelly, there's this sense of recognition coming really strongly, like when how when you meet someone for the first time, but you are just like, I just know I've seen you somewhere before. And sometimes you cross paths somewhere and you just haven't spoken, or maybe you even spoke, but you didn't really connect. But sometimes when we meet someone for the first time, there's this spark. And that's the feeling that I'm getting from Grandpa Cedar right now. And Grandpa Cedar wants to ask you, do you know how amazing you are? Do you really know? Grandpa Cedar wants you to remember who you truly are. Underneath all of the pain and trauma, even underneath your courage and dedication to shining your light, there's this tenderness. There's this, oh, it's like the word is escaping me, because it's like that poignant feeling when you look into someone's eyes and you feel really seen. And that tender place in your heart is where Grandpa Cedar is asking you to allow yourself to be seen and to allow yourself to witness yourself. And there's some deep healing here. And inside of this tender place in your heart, there is a special gift that is awakening within you beyond even what you have already imagined for yourself, beyond anything that you have already experienced. There is a precious gift. And so Grandpa Cedar is asking you to be really present with the most tender, fearful inner wounds that you still carry, and to just continue to offer yourself that same brilliant, beaming, unconditional love that you've become very good at shining out into the world. It's time to turn that light around and reflect it within and carry it in your heart and allow it to heal you and allow it to awaken those gems that are waiting to come to the surface of the ground of your being. Ah, I can't wait to see what they are, Kelly. So beautiful. Thank you for asking. And you are welcome, Christy. I'm so glad that was helpful. Nancy Louise wants to know if Grandpa has any messages about Simba Kitty. How is Simba Kitty, Nancy Louise? I haven't seen any recent posts, but I was following your journey with the precious Simba Kitty. Oh, so if there, I'm going to tune in to Grandpa messages about Simba, and if there's any more information you want to drop in about your precious furry friend, feel free. Hmm. Grandpa Cedar is showing me Simba Kitty like Ninja Cat jumping from treetop to treetop and like flying through the air. And he's saying that it's like a kitty dream and that Simba is going through a kitty hero's journey, I guess is the best word for it. And there's like a lot of inner spiritual work. And this is really interesting. I know, Nancy, that you communicate with the spirits of animals and you really hold space for them. And I would say I have never quite tuned in to witnessing a cat's spiritual journey before. But just like they talk about ascension symptoms, that's what Grandpa Cedar is showing me. And he's saying that the physical body does not always transmute these ascension energies. And regardless of what happens with Simba's illness, Simba is ascending. Simba is transforming into the next manifestation of his higher self. I don't know if I'm getting the gender of your cat right, so I apologize if not. And yeah, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, that's what I'm getting too, that not sure he's staying in his body, but he is definitely ascending and transcending some powerful, powerful energy and doing some amazing spiritual work for the planet right now. And whether it's in dreams or whether he's actually being freed from his body, he's going to a joyful place where he can just bound freely and run wild and be embodying his true essence. And yeah, it is amazing to read the Akashic records of the pets, right? Yeah, I hope that was helpful. I'm just sending you and Simba Kitty so much love right now. And Grandpa Cedar just wants you to know that as painful as it is, um, that he's moving into something better. And Nancy Louise says her spirit knows this too. I call him he and she because he's always been high maintenance. Oh, interesting. That must be why I was getting that like he, she thing. And yeah, beautiful. I'm glad that was helpful, Nancy. I really appreciate you and the work that you're doing here on the planet. And Grandpa Cedar really wants to also extend his appreciation to the special work that you're doing on the planet, the efforts that the way that you have demonstrated your willingness to take a stand for the animals. And he says we need more people like you. So stay focused on your unique vibration coming through, and then allowing that. He's saying for you, you don't need to focus on the harmonizing, but just allow the harmonizing to happen and just focus on really amplifying your unique vibration that you bring to the world. And so I'm going to second that, because the way he showed it to me, I was just like, yes, Nancy Louise, larger than life. Yes, yes, yes. I love you, Nancy. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you everyone who joined live. And if you're watching the replay, I also love and appreciate you. I'm going to close this connection with Grandpa Cedar now, sealing in all the healing for the collective and for each of you as individuals, expanding that healing vibration to all life on the planet, all life that breathes and lives in every form, including the rocks and the water, as well as what we would traditionally call an organism. And take a deeper breath now and then, as Dr. Roger Yanka would say. Thank you so much, Grandpa Cedar. Until next time. And now I'm going to close out this session, this extra long session of Tree Gong, Wisdom of the Ancients, and head on over to the healer's space to shine and grow for a special training on protecting yourself physically, energetically, and keeping your energy clear during these challenging times. So I'll type the link in the comments in case you are not already a part of the healer's space to shine and grow. Make sure I spell it right. And you can follow this link and join in. We have trainings every week, as well as special extended trainings, Facebook challenges, and I would love to have you be a part of that group if you're not already. I know most of you on this feed today are already part of that group. And yet, even if you're coming in on the replay, the trainings stay in the group, and you can always come in and scroll through the trainings that have happened in the past and pick up some extra wisdom and tips and tricks and tools, because I am passionate about showing up for the healers and the light workers so that each one of you can take your unique offering out into the world to be seen and valued for who you are, for your special gifts, to serve your true purpose. And so, to that end, I'm going to help you to cultivate yourself at the highest level, to master your energy, to unleash your gifts, to stand in your power and speak your truth. And this is what I've created the Healer's Space for. And I invite you all to come and join me there. I will see you there in about 10 minutes. So, see you on the other side. Blessed be.